If you want to know how to make piggy characters like this, watch to the end of the video. The first thing you guys want to do is get this piggy skin kit. This just has all the meshes you need to make the arms and legs look like that and some more stuff. And the link for that will be in the description. Now that you see the piggy skin kit up here, what you can do is you can see it has arms, legs, and torsos. And there's a lot of customization that you can do here. So let's start by actually adding in a rig, and we can do that by going into the avatar tab, click character, press masculine R6 block avatar. This is where I start all my rigs, no matter what I'm making. And you can see it's a little bit smaller than our birdie model we already have. So what we can do is we can scale this up a little bit. Not much, but just enough so that it's bigger than the character to make it look more intimidating. Now, see all these meshes here? We basically add these into this model to make the arms and legs not look like blocks in the torso. To do that, what we have to do is there's all these customizations. There's girl arms, there's boy arms, there's just the same legs for everyone, and we have a lot of different options for torsos. The way these meshes work is that if they have a little star here, then you actually have to put it into the arms for it to work. For example, if I take the girl right arm, I copy it and paste it into this right arm of this rig, then it has that arm. However, if I want a boy arm, say I want the boy right arm, I don't have to paste it into the right arm. Doing that wouldn't work. What I actually have to do is paste it into the rig itself. This is because the ones with stars are special meshes, which you have to put inside of the rig's arm. And the ones that have a little smiley face, those are character meshes, and all you have to do is put them in the rig. So to start, let's just paste the boy left arm, the left leg and right leg, and the normal torso, all of that into this character. Now we have the base of a piggy character, but we still have to make the head. To do that, what we have to do is place down a sphere. This sphere isn't really a good size, so let's scale it down. The size we want is going to be 2.2 by 2.2 by 2.2 studs. This is the perfect size for a piggy or birdie head. To put the head on there, what we do is we grab the position of this head, which is under C-frame, we can see position. We copy this part, which I like to call main, but it doesn't really matter what you name that. Then you paste the position in here. Then what you do is you grab this position and move it up a little. So now we have the head, and now just so that you don't see the inside of this head, what we can do is we can set the main head, the actual humanoid's head, and set the transparency to 1. You can go inside to this face and we can delete that. So now if you look inside of here, you have no idea that there's any other head in here. Then what we can do is we can put main inside of the rig, and now we have the base of the rig complete. So it's time to add some head accessories. To do this, I make a folder inside of the rig, and then I call it head accessories. And this includes the things like the eyes, the mouth for birdie, and this mask for birdie. Now it's time to make the eyes. The first thing I do to that is I duplicate this main, and then I scale it down a lot. Then I can position it to the right, like that. You just gotta find a good position for it. There we go, that's good. Then what we can do is we can make the pupil. So let's do that by grabbing it, bring it forward a little, and scaling it down. And what we can do is we can color the pupil white, and we can set its material to neon. Now that we have that, we can name this left eye, and we can grab this and name it left pupil. And we can put both of these inside the head accessories folder. Now all we have to do is duplicate this, and then we can bring it over to here, and then we can grab this pupil and move it over a bit. We can rename this to right pupil, and we can rename this to right eye. Now, say I wanted to make like a snout or something. What I'd normally do is I'd duplicate main, just move it forward. Then I'd set its shape to a cylinder. I'd rotate it this way, and then I'd scale it down. Alright, so now we have this, which I'm gonna call snout. Then we can duplicate this and make it, this is for the 2 nostrils. Put it right there. Then we can scale these down. We can put it there. Perfect. We can duplicate that and put it there. Then we can put these in there. And now we have a snout. So we can keep this as the snout. Then we can name this right nostril. Then we can name this left nostril. Now that we have this, say we wanted to make ears, what we could do is we can duplicate this snout first, move it back, and move it up here. Then we can scale this to whatever we want to make it good for an ear. I'll say that's good. Alright, we can name this left ear. Then we can duplicate this and move it to the other side. Then what I can do is I can put the snout, the nostrils, and ear all into head accessories. And then just like that, we have the face completed. But a little tip that I like to do is, say I wanted to give this guy spots for some reason. Say I was making a cow or something. I could grab the mane, duplicate it, scale it down just a little bit. Then I could copy the position of this, the main head, paste it into here. And now there's a perfectly centered one that's slightly different. And I could color this to black, for example. Then say I wanted to make spots. I can grab spheres and I can set these to negative parts. If you don't know what a negative part is, basically, if you don't know what a union is, it's where you can link multiple parts together into one like complex part. And a negative part makes it so that certain parts can split, like they don't overlap, and it like breaks it there. Now what I can do is I can make spots, say like right there, right there, then like right there if I want one. Then all I have to do, select these 3 parts, then select main, this head, and what I can do is I can go to model and then union them. And now there's holes in the main head, and you can see the underneath head, which I have at a different color. And that's a little tip you can do to make spots and like cool designs. So I can name this back to main. Spelled that. And then what I can do is, for the other main, I can call this inner head. And I can put it into head accessories. Now it might look like my rig is done, but if I run the game, then you can just watch the whole thing explodes. None of this is connected to anything, so it won't work.
They see me rolling, they hating.
So what you actually have to do is rig the model. That means you have to make joints and other things to keep the model intact. You need a rigging thing to use this, a rigging plugin. I use this edit rig plugin, but you could use a free one. But using this one, what we have to do is go into the rig. We can click the head and then click main. And what we do here is there are 2 types of joints we can make. We can do joints, which allows us to animate this part separately. Or we can create welds, which just welds it together so that it doesn't fall apart. With most of this stuff that you're not going to want to animate, you don't want to create a joint, you want to create a weld. Like, we're never going to need to animate the individual nostrils. So we can create welds there to make it easier to animate everything else. So I like to create a weld between the head and main. And then inside of main, what we can do is we can weld almost all of the head accessories. Now, if we run the game, you'll see that nothing falls apart. And now, just to test if your rig is done, what you can do is you have to name it exactly like this, but you can name it starter character, and then you can place it into starter player. So now when I test the game, I should have Birdie's animations. Oh, I forgot to remove the other animation script. But if you could see, if you can move around, then you finish the rig, and you made a piggy rig. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys again in the next video. Goodbye.
Let's go!